I'm going to go through my little speech here. This is William Prensky, Chair of the West Hartford Board of Assessors, and I'd like to welcome you to the virtual meeting of April
May.
6th, sorry, behind the times. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this hearing is being conducted virtually in accordance with Governor Lamont's public health emergency and civil preparedness orders. Board members and some town staff are participating by WebEx. The public can watch this meeting on Comcast Channel 5, Frontier TV Channel 6098, or on www.whctv.org. Because of the virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before I begin. First, I ask all participants to please mute your devices when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you are participating via audio only, I do not call on you and the debate is ending, please unmute your phone and let me know so that I can recognize you. Second, pursuant to Executive Order 7B, all speakers must state their name and title each time they speak. Third, because of the difficulty in tallying voice on a video conference, I will require the votes be taken by roll. We'll now call the roll. James Healy. James Healy is not present. Matt LeBlanc.
Present. Present.
Okay. Does everybody remember you have to state your name? It's just the procedure. And then Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc is present. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Shelley Roseanne.
Shelley Roseanne, present.
Teresa Szymanski.
Teresa Szymanski, present.
And William Prensky is present. Also from the assessment department, I see Mr. Daycares.
Yes, Joseph Daycares present.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first item on our agenda is the minutes of the April 8th, 2021 meeting. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
This is Terry Szymanski. I will move to accept the minutes of the April 8th meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Shelley Roseanne, seconds.
Okay, so Teresa has moved to accept, and Shelley has seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will go through the order again on voting. Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc, aye.
Shelley Roseanne.
Shelley Roseanne, aye.
Teresa Szymanski.
Teresa Szymanski in favor.
And William Prensky in favor. So the minutes of the May 6th meeting are approved. We were going to go out of order with our agenda to accommodate one of the applicants, but I'm not sure if the applicant is here yet, from Whiting Lane Extended Daycare, Inc. So let's go in order, and if they appear, we'll just skip over to Whiting Lane. Aurora Women's and Girls Foundation, Inc. It's application for an exemption for personal property.
Well, just prior to the meeting, I kind of blurbed that this was going to be a quick meeting, and for a couple of reasons. The Aurora Women's and Girls Foundation were granted an exemption by the Board of Assessors in December of 2014. Their application that they have submitted is a renewal they're required to do that every so many years. And this particular one, we looked at it initially that it was an initial application, but upon closer inspection and locating their file, we found out that their exemption has already been extended some years ago. So there is no action required by the Board of Assessors on this one. In fact, it was actually December 14th. It was actually December 14th, I'm sorry, December 11th of 2014, where we sent out a letter to them, letting them know that the board approved their request for an exemption on their personal property. At that time, they were located at 80 South Main Street. They're now located at 1678 Asylum Avenue within the University of St. Joseph.
So it's my understanding there's, William Prensky, I assume there's no need for the board to do anything on this renewal. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right, so I guess we'll just move on to the next one.
I apologize to the board for us missing that really glaring detail, to be honest with you, because when you look at the application, in the center of the application, it does say renewal where they checked it off. So we missed that.
I don't think there's a problem. The second request for tax exempt status is from the Edward C. and AntiRoberts Foundation for Personal Property.
All right.
This may be a renewal.
No, this is a different situation. Last year, November 1st fell on a Sunday. And so that would automatically give them until the next business day to file their application. The next business day was November 2nd. I don't know if you still have your material, but I did take the liberty of sending you another set. They filed their application with us on November 2nd. So it is a timely filing, and I think the only thing now that's necessary for the board is to react on their application as to whether or not they're exempt or taxable.
Bill Prensky, I believe, if my recollection is correct, the reason we tabled this was because we thought it was late. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Let's start with, do I hear a motion to approve the application for the tax
I can do
exempt?
that. I can propose a motion to approve the application by the Edward C. and AntiRoberts Foundation for tax exemption on their personal property.
And do I hear a second? Shelley's mic is on.
Shelley Roseanne, second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Anybody? Okay, we'll take a vote on this.
It's pretty straightforward, I thought.
That's what I had remembered. The only question was the timeliness, and that's been resolved.
Mhm.
Matt LeBlanc,
Matt LeBlanc in favor.
thank you. Shelley Roseanne,
Shelley Roseanne in favor.
and Teresa Szymanski.
Terry Szymanski in favor.
William Prensky in favor. The application is unanimously approved. Well, we're moving on to the last item, the Whiting Lane Extended Daycare.
Well-
Not seeing the representative. Let's start with, is there any discussion about this? Teresa?
Yes, so I believe that we, and I think Bill, you were pretty instrumental in putting this concern on the table. I think they were, 1287 and educational, and I think you were the one who was saying, where's the educational purpose? Is my memory correct on that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I actually did a little bit of research on this, and I don't find anything in Connecticut law specifically on that, the tax exemption, but the IRS has a couple of publications, and the gist of it, and I can send these to you people if you would like to read them. They're highly interesting. But they take and they have their tax exemption under 501c3 and all of that. And the IRS takes a pretty liberal view of what education means, and they very specifically say that childcare is part of it. And and what I wish the Whiting Lane folks had done a little bit better, but I don't think this is our problem, but I wish they had done a little bit better was to clarify that their purpose is educational. And I think they kind of said that one place and they kind of didn't say it another place, but from everything that I read, the IRS is very liberal about this, and they actually give some examples of, childcare that occurs because people have to go to work, and they're trying to be good about it. So I actually have no problem with this one.
Anybody else? Because I'm reading the letter from April 30th. I hope everybody read that. I'm having concern about, so let me ask you this, Joe, this is for Joe.
Yes.
What have we done with other daycare centers?
It depends on whom is operating the daycare. A number of daycares in town are operated by the church, and they are nonprofit. There are some that are operating inside a church facility by a for-profit entity. In those instances, that daycare is taxable along with a pro rata share of the real estate that they're operating in. In this particular case, this is a daycare. What they have provided us with is that they also do some different things. Every parent doesn't get to their child on time, and so they'll keep the children until the parents get out of work and pick them up. In the interim, they have different types of activities that they engage the children in. I mean that's the scope of it. And I think one other thing came out in our previous meeting, based upon the length of time they've been at that location. And quite frankly, I'm startled that we didn't have this information sooner. But we have it now, and none of the other daycares, also in contrast, except for the ones that are operated by the church. And with the case of the church, if it's a church auxiliary, if you will, they're not even required to have a 501c3 because they're operating under the umbrella of the church. And the churches don't even have to file a quadrennial application, believe it or not. But these guys do have recognition from the Department of Treasury.
Yep.
To the extent that they were given a 501c3, and I agree with Teresa. I probably could craft a document within the next hour and send it to them by email, and may have a 501c3 by this evening. And so they are kind of liberal as long as you fit in with the parameters that they have for that particular exemption type.
Right.
But that's if you're looking for something that sets them apart from the other daycares in town. This particular one has a 501c3. Others are owned by the church and they're exempt. The ones that are not owned by the church, we have one in fact, on Park Road, just next to Joey Z's, just west of Joey Z's. It sits on the corner there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a daycare facility and they're taxable. So we do have some freestanding ones active, but they never contended that they were a nonprofit either. They are a
Right.
for-profit operation.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm, like, I looked at all their paper, and there was a lot of paper, but they are definitely a 501c3, and so that's when I did this, like looking up this stuff. And one of the things the IRS says specifically is, and again, the Whiting Lane folks say this somewhere in their documents, that there's an educational purpose, which they need to do that. And the IRS says it does not need to be a school. It really is for, and this is a quote, educational purpose includes providing for care of children away from their parents if substantially all the care is to enable individuals to be gainfully employed. So I think it would, I think it's fine.
I didn't see anywhere in their documents that it's educational.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look at it, but it definitely, I think it might have been not the, I think it might have been like their bylaws or their organizational, their charter, their organizational, but they say it somewhere, definitely. There, maybe you can find it, Joe, if you have it in front of you.
Yes, I do. Just give me a second.
A lot of documents there, but somewhere it says, they do say educational.
Well, their 990s indicate that they provide before and afternoon, after school care in a learning environment.
Learning environment, that's what I remember, yeah. And again, in the IRS publication that I read very specifically said they are taking a liberal view of what constitutes education. Because
Yeah,
it would be a terrible thing if they were knocking everybody out of the park because their parents need to work. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Anybody else? Nobody else?
This is just a general thought. Sorry, Shelley Roseanne. So bad at this.
Go ahead.
This is just a general thought about daycare centers. And I don't know if this is, something, for the legislature to address, not here, but, I think if we went from daycare center to daycare center, I'm not sure that we would see materially different things. And so at some point, it might be nice to see some kind of unified treatment.
So, Ansky, this is addressed to Terry, I guess. Your view is that we should adopt the IRS's standards for a charitable organization, notwithstanding.
Not charitable. It's under our statute, it would be 1287, but it's educational, not charitable, yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But you're adopting the IRS's standard. Connecticut apparently has no standard for what's educational.
I found nothing on it. But I suspect that they would go along with the IRS liberal view. I suspect. That would be my guess, Joe. I mean, I'm calling on Joe. I don't get to call on people. You do, Bill. Sorry.
Joe? I see your hand up.
Yeah, Joe speaking. I'm also looking at their restated bylaws and the purpose of the organization. And specifically, it says the purpose of the organization is to provide daycare and supervision to school-aged children outside regular school hours. It is a non-profit organization. And that's what the purpose of their bylaws says. So
But
I don't know how we juxtapose the education piece, or is it just a nonprofit organization?
Again, from what I'm reading in the IRS, Joe, read a little bit further down in those bylaws. I feel like that's maybe where I saw
Okay, let's see, board of directors.
no, then maybe not. It must have been in the 990 that you were looking at before.
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat in this.
But how about their, and I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me because I could look it up myself, but how about the letter they got from the IRS?
Yeah, that was a certificate. I have that here.
Not the sales exemption, but the IRS giving them the 501c3?
Yes, I have that. As you pointed out, they have a lot of papers here.
They do, yeah. Some are blank.
I inserted those for when I copied them, so that you would know they were
Oh, okay.
different sections. So no, that's the Department of Revenue Service. Bear with me.
Like- say the certificate of incorporation that it was attached.
No, their exemption letter from the IRS is what I was thinking
know.
of. That
Okay, yeah, here it is.
And I-
So,
the certificate filed with the Secretary of the State
Yeah.
says the nature of the activities to be conducted or the purposes to be promoted or carried out by the corporation, excuse me, are as follows: to establish and maintain a center for the care and supervision of school-aged children during the hours when school is not in session.
That's their sales and use tax exemption certificate? Is that what you were just reading, Bill?
Came first, the certificate of incorporation of a non-stock corporation
Okay.
filed with the Secretary of the State. Then you want to know what does the letter from the IRS say, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it too.
I have it here.
Do you have it, Joe?
Yes, sir, I do. Joe speaking. Okay, so this is dated October 17th, 1978. Dear applicant, based on information supplied and assuming your operations will be as stated in your application for recognition of exemption, we have determined you are exempt from federal income tax under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Then it goes on to talk about being a newly created organization.
Yeah.
And
And that's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in somewhere in there, there's the Connecticut certificate for sales and use tax
Yes.
exemption as well. So I guess my reasoning is, I wish there were a case on daycares in Connecticut under 1287-1, but there's not. But the IRS said, okay, you're nonprofit under 501c3, and they had to talk, they had to talk about education in there. The IRS is very liberal about what they are calling educational purpose. And they're saying it includes the care of children when their parents are working. Also, they have the Connecticut exemption for sales and use tax. I think we would be flying in the face of logic if we decided anything else. I'm
Well,
done talking.
That's okay. We want to hear as much.
Yeah, no, there's nothing else to say, but yeah, you seem a little skeptical, Bill, still.
Well, now the tax exemption permit says that it's hereby certified that the charitable or religious organization named below is exempt.
That's a form, right?
Well, yeah, but all right. So my other point is going to be that under Connecticut law, exemptions from taxation are to be strictly construed, not broadly. So we have to reconcile all of this.
But there's no specifics on it though, you know? There's nothing in Connecticut that says, oh, by the way, if you're a daycare and you're not teaching, you're out. So anyway, we should probably get information from other people.
Joe? Yes?
Yes, Joe speaking. I sat on, in a workshop put on by the Department of Treasury. It must have been 8 or 9 years ago now, up in East Hampton at the Opera House there. And it was quite informative. I have a lot of material. I probably have some of the brochures that Teresa referenced this morning here in the office. But the representative made it clear to us, assessors that participated in the workshop, that there are 3 levels of government. And the exemption that the IRS extends has nothing to do with the
Right.
state of Connecticut, nor the city or towns in Connecticut. However, having said that, we do use that 501c3 as a starter point for consideration of the exemption. So the applicant or the board is not precluded from asking for anything from the applicant that they deem would be probative to making a proper decision on a request. In this particular case, and to Shelley's point, you know, if they don't have all the requisite papers, I can't speak for other municipalities. I don't know what their scope of knowledge is on this stuff, and you know, who drives the car in those communities, if you will. But I think the state law is clear as to what we do as assessors. I concede that the issue about education and charitable, you know, it's a little murky here. But they have their 501c3. They certainly have been recognized by the state of Connecticut, as pointed out. And if other daycares in the community get a certification from the Department of Treasury, the IRS, then we would have to look at those applications independently as they bring them forth to see whether or not it warrants recognition of exemption from local property taxes. I think I just took everybody's side.
You did, actually. You did.
Well,
You definitely did.
That was great.
Bill Prensky, do I hear a motion to accept this application? Or if we're ready to vote?
I can do, we can still discuss after we motion and second. That's Robert's rules. Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I can propose a motion to accept the Whiting Lane Extended Daycare Inc.'s application for tax exemption on their personal property.
Is there a second?
Shelley Roseanne, the official seconder, is seconding.
Thank you.
Oh,
Any further discussion? Right, I'm going to call a vote. Matt
LeBlanc in favor.
Shelley Roseanne,
Shelley Roseanne in favor.
Harry Szymanski,
Terry Szymanski in favor.
William Prensky opposed. So the motion is carried 3-1. There's nothing further on the agenda, so I would entertain. Oh, yes, Joe.
Yeah, I did want to just take this opportunity to say once again that this will be our last virtual meeting. All of the executive orders that govern this type of arrangement expire this month. It was discussed at the directors meeting, Corporation Counsel had some comments on it. And as pointed out, I think we're going to be looking for a larger venue here in Town Hall to enforce social distancing. It may be the council chambers or some other large space in Town Hall for us to have these activities. And so I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you at some point. And I think we need to do that because everyone has their own sensibilities about this pandemic issue. And so I think we have to be respectful of those. And I'm certainly want to make sure that we do the right thing here as it pertains to this committee.
Thank you. Terry, you had a question?
Joe, could you remind me when the
Shelley, yes?
could you remind me when the next meeting is?
All of our meetings are on the second Thursday of the month. I will say at this
Yes,
point,
what day that is.
yeah, I will say that at this point in time, we don't have any agenda items pending. So that would be the 10th of June if we have any business. But right now, there's nothing in the queue for us to work on. So who knows? We may get the summer off. Bill can go to his beach house and everybody will have a good time.
Bill? Beach house.
Terry, did you have a comment?
You know, I did. It's, I don't want to start a discussion on this now because this is great. We're ending early, but, so that, you know, the whole daycare, I mean, if it ever comes up again, that we have another one, it would be nice if they would understand what they're doing as far as the educational purpose and kind of be a little bit more emphatic about it. I don't know if you can steer people how to apply, Joe, but that's what I would suggest. But of course, that assumes too that they have done their organizational documents and their bylaws correctly and said the right things in there too. But yeah, so it's probably a lot to ask.
Understood. No, we with the initial request, we certainly have the ability to do that. And I think I have a sense of where they fell short here based upon your questions and concerns. So I will make sure going forward that that type of thing is covered, not only with this type of request, but with all of them.
Good discussion though, Bill. Nice.
Very good. Thank everybody for their input and participation today. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
This
Yes,
is Terry Szymanski. I would like to move to adjourn the meeting.
And Shelley is going to second, I bet.
And this is Shelley Roseanne, and I would like to second.
Good job.
Do we need to take a vote on the motion to adjourn? I don't think so. Well, anyway. All right, let's,
Wait. I have a question. This is a question for Joe. We have to have a quorum to have this meeting. So 3 out of 5 is a quorum. I guess our quorum is a majority. But what is what do our bylaws say if we have them, or our protocol for voting? So if there are 3 of us, I mean, some things might require like a supermajority, like a 2/3 vote, or like if we're going to boot somebody off the board because they whatever. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Is it a majority of the people present or a majority of the board? Do you know what I mean? That I don't know what the rules are there.
I would think in order for you to conduct your meetings, you would have to have a quorum of the total board. And having that quorum, you would be able to conduct business so if there are 3 people out of 5 there, you have a quorum. And so when you are meeting and you're working on a business, now I can circle back to our corporation counsel.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me, but I certainly could find out before our next meeting, and maybe I don't know if this is a business question, but I can send you guys an email.
Yeah, I just wondering, yeah, I think that's probably true, but I wonder if it's written down somewhere or if there are any issues, like I said before, that would require a supermajority or a majority of the board. Like, for example, if there were only 3 of us, we have a quorum, but could you pass something with 2 out of 3? I don't know.
Hmm,
Seems
Understood.
pretty shy, but, okay.
Terry,
Yes? Sorry, I'm kind
I'm going to give you an
What?
assignment.
what, I'm done.
You're going to research the charter on this. I bet it's in the charter. Maybe not, but are you willing?
Who, me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, put it in the minutes, Joe. I'll put
Yeah,
it,
I'll also reach out to our corporation counsel to get to have them chime in on this question as well.
okay.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All
The
done.
meeting adjourned at 8:30.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Yep, bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.